Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Stylistpreneur Podcast. I am your host, Damali Fils, and today we have with us Carina Groombridge. She is a seasoned business coach and mindset coach, empowering women to break through limitations and scale their businesses to six figures and beyond. Carina, how are you?
Thank you. Thank you. I am doing well. How are you?
I'm excited to have you because I feel like what you're doing is what a lot of beauty professionals need in order to get to that next level in their business. So, could you please give us a little bit of a backstory on how you became a business and mindset coach?
Yes, absolutely. So for me, this is a total 180 career change for me
Okay.
because I started off, I studied in mechanical engineering. I worked as an engineer for almost a decade. And when I had kids, that was kind of like the kick in the butt that I needed to be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
don't actually love what I'm doing.
Oh,
And of course, as a mom, I was like, well, I want to be able to tell my kids, like, do what you love, follow your
mm-hmm.
passion, like, really, get the most out of life. And I'm sitting there like, I can't do that from where I am. I can't do
Right.
that from like where I currently was sitting behind a desk at corporate. And that was my biggest catalyst to change. So I had kind of tried a couple different things, but really the biggest piece was I shifted my mindset. And I didn't realize it in that
Mm-hmm.
moment. We never do.
Right.
But I shifted the mindset from I don't know what I'm passionate about. I don't know what I want to do to I'm gonna figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
which led me to take action, which led me to try things and fail a lot,
Mm-hmm.
which eventually led me to um, really landing on mindset coaching specifically for women in business because
Okay.
I was like, we need more women making more money,
Mm-hmm.
like loving what they do and being able to do that with the life that they want to have. And I
Okay.
mean, I'm a mom of four, like
Wow.
my life is pretty crazy in terms of like juggling the kids and the commitments and all the
Right.
things. And I just want to shift this perspective of like, you can quote unquote have it all. And to
Mm-hmm.
me, what that means is living the life that you want to live, but also making the income, doing what you're passionate about. And that's really what kind of fueled me to figure this out. And like, I've been on this journey for like 6 years now,
Okay.
supporting business owners to create a schedule that they love, create a business that they love, make the kind of money that's going to support their family. And that's just like for me, like the icing on the cake. It's just so good.
It is, and I can definitely relate. I'm a mom of only one now, not four, but one. But it definitely
One
changes
is
your,
enough.
it is
Like,
because
one is a
all
lot.
your
So
attention is on that one.
yes.
But it definitely changes your perspective, the way you want to live your life, the way you want your daily day to go. So I can definitely relate to that. But I will say that one problem that people run into is common limiting beliefs. What are some of those limiting beliefs you've seen, and how are we going to overcome those beliefs?
Yes. So I feel like everyone has their own flavor to this, right?
Mm,
But when you kind of boil it down, and I mean, I see it in so many different industries, so many different types of people, but when you really boil it down, it comes down to um, am I enough is a big
mm,
one. Am I doing enough? Do I know enough? Am I smart enough? Like all of that. That's a really big limiting belief. And this willingness to be seen and like put yourself out there because we could fail, right?
right.
Like publicly fail. So
Mm,
those are two really common one that I see a lot. Um, but like I said, they kind of like all come with like different flavors of it.
okay. So it's just a matter of how you're dealing with it.
Well, exactly. Like two people might both feel like they're not quite enough, but one it might show up in one way, another it's going to show up in a different way. So what I do as a coach is really support you to like tease out like, okay, what does it look like? What does that flavor look like to you? And let's get you past it. Because
Okay.
like, I mean, I don't know about you. I love reading books. I love taking
Mm-hmm.
courses. Like I love doing all of those things. And what I noticed for myself in the beginning was I signed up for the courses, I read the books, and it's things were still weren't sticking. Like
Right.
I still wasn't necessarily implementing and doing the things
Mm-hmm.
that I now knew I should be
Oh,
doing,
yeah.
which is really like what landed me into this whole like mindset realm, because that was the piece that I needed. That was
Okay.
the thing that I needed to support me. And it's what I see so many people, I don't know if I want to say struggle with, because some
Mm-hmm.
people, like a lot of my clients are doing really well, but it's to get to that next level and to, be able to do things like, okay, I know I want to scale, but I'm struggling to hire and like
Mm-hmm.
delegate things. That's a really big one. If you're kind of at that tipping point of like, well, I want to make more money, but I've reached capacity, which
Right.
I'm sure a lot of the business owners who listen to this are like, yeah, like I'm here, but I'm too afraid to like let go, take that next step. And
Right.
that's all in your mindset. Like 100%, it is what is going on in your head, because you can continue to grow your business. It can stay, your flavor, your with your touch to it, even if you build out a team, even if you delegate things. So
Gotcha.
like I feel like mindset plays such a big part. And like I said, it's like a different flavor for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
but
No,
yeah, we can all use that
I
little
can see
tweak.
that.
Yeah.
So I've had the chance to work with many beautiful professionals in different salon settings, and one thing that I see them really struggle with is balancing between their love for hair, they're
Mhm.
passionate about it, but then also trying to run the business. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'll see some where they're great at doing hair, but when it comes to running the business, being strategic about it, they're lacking in that area. How can we be more balanced and still loving doing hair, but also making sure that we're making a profit and running a successful business?
Yeah. So the first thing that comes to mind for me is like, what do you want? Like, what are your
Mm.
business goals? If you're in that boat of like, okay, I really love this part, kind of suck at this part,
Right.
then my question is like, what do you want? Like, do you
Mhm.
want to be able to scale? Because I mean, I know I've spoken to some business owners and they're like, I know I'm not so good with the back end business stuff, but they're like, I'm happy with where I am with the clients that I have,
Mm.
with like the keeping it kind of word of mouth and not really needing to promote, because they just have this
Right.
steady flow of clients. And so really my first question is, what do you want?
Okay.
Because like, yes, it'd be amazing to have a cleaned up back end of your business, the marketing's going out and you're growing and all the things and all your numbers. And like,
Mhm.
yes, I want this for you. I promote this for my clients of like having that understanding. But
Right.
also like, what do you like, what's your bigger goal? Is your
Okay.
bigger goal to grow and scale? Because in that case, then we want to look at, okay, where's your time going?
Mm.
And do we need to wrap your head around starting to love the back end things? Because this
Mhm.
is possible. Like if you hate it right now and you're
Right.
telling me like, Karina, like I'm so terrible at this, I hate it, da da da. This is your mindset. It is not
Mhm.
actually the truth of the matter.
Mm.
If you knew that that could be changed, and like this is, I can teach you this. This is not that hard.
Okay.
But this piece can be changed to actually have you showing up and like looking at the numbers and doing
Mhm.
the bookkeeping and doing the things. Like that's kind of one aspect to it. And another
Okay.
aspect is like, do you want to hire? Do you
Right.
want to like, do you want to be outsourcing this? And I know I'm like speaking from experience here, because there have been
Right.
some things in my business where I don't know if you've had this experience, but where it had been on my to-do list for
Oh,
months.
yeah. Oh,
And I'm like,
yeah.
ah, I need to do the thing and I haven't done the thing. And I finally was like, all right, I'm hiring. Like, I need
Right.
to get this done. I swear, this task took like the expert 45 minutes to do. And
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
oh,
Oh, yeah.
like, and I kept it forever because I didn't want to let it go. And it's just this idea of like, it might not actually be that hard to go and delegate things, especially
Right.
if it's things like bookkeeping or accounting. Like, it might not actually be that hard or that costly. And I want you
Mhm.
to ask yourself, like, what is it actually costing you right now to
Mm.
not do it, or
Right.
to do it poorly, or to delay doing it?
Mhm.
Like, these are all really good questions to ask yourself if you're like, okay, I want to change something.
Right. No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, that's good. Like asking yourself those questions is going to support you to figure out, okay, which direction do I need to go? Do I want to just shift my mindset and carve out the time to do these things? Do I want to be hiring to do these things? And it's going to be based primarily off of, where do you want to be in 6 months? Where do you want to
Right.
be in a year from now? because
Well,
that's going to answering that question is going to support you to figure out what you need to do today.
mm-hmm. So, Karina, we are ending a year and we're going into a
Yes.
new year. So, you know what
Yeah.
that means: new goals, new ambitions. And for beauty professionals that are wanting to go into this new year, 2025, and they're looking to scale, what would you say are some of the first steps or first things that they need to consider and work on moving into this new year?
Ooh, love it. Okay. So I always love to start with reviewing the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can we not like throw it all out
Right?
and like jump to the next thing? Like, there is so much gold. There is so much learning that we can take from this last year.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to really accelerate and scale in 2025, then I want you to be looking at your 2024. And
Okay.
I've actually put out, I'm going through a series on my Instagram asking, literally, it's just one question a day to support my audience in doing their year-end review.
Okay.
Because I know so many business owners are like, but I don't have the time, but I haven't, like,
Right?
I don't make the time to do this. And so
Mm.
I've like put it down into little bite-sized pieces that you can just ask yourself these handful of questions
Mm-hmm.
in order to do this review, in order
Okay.
to take this step. Because like, yes, we can, get out our vision board and write down our big shiny goals that we want. I definitely want you to be doing this. But in order to really be able to move farther faster, we
Mm-hmm.
want to know like what worked from last year, what
Right?
didn't work from last year, what do we want to be doing differently in the future? And without answering those questions first, you're not taking all the learning with you into the
Mm-hmm.
next year.
Right. That makes total sense. So there is one thing that I want everyone to leave in 2024, and that is feeling like there's competition and self-doubt.
Yes.
What role would you say that like your mindset plays when you are feeling, oh my gosh, there's so much competition. Oh my gosh, how do I compare to others? Like what mindset are we dealing with and how can we get out of that?
Yes. So that is like 100% your mindset because
Mm-hmm.
if you asked 10 people, let's just say, who are in your same profession,
Mm-hmm.
some people are going to be like, oh, like I see this person and they're thinking that,
Yeah.
like, and they're comparing. And then you talk to other people and they're like, no, I'm good. I'm in a league of my own. Like, you can't touch
Mm-hmm.
me because they own who they are. They own how like it's not just, especially in the beauty profession, it's not just the end
Right.
result. It's that journey of how people get there. It's the experience they have with you in your company, in your like with you personally or with your team.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what can set you apart. And so this idea of like, oh, what's the competition doing? What's this competition
Mm-hmm.
doing? I love to focus on like, yeah, but what are you doing?
Right.
Like, how are you going to set yourself apart? How are you going to create an amazing customer experience?
Mm.
And and that whole process. And so um like the doubt, the comparison that comes up, it is
Mhm.
100% just in your brain. And what
Right.
I want to offer to everybody listening is it's not actually true.
Mm.
Like we have this idea that all the
Right.
thoughts in our head are true.
Oh my gosh.
And just imagine if you were to like go and stand in court and be like, well, this other person is so much better than me. Like, says who? Like,
Right.
like you have these, 50 testimonials from super happy clients.
Exactly.
Like it's not a fact that everybody would agree to. So therefore, it's just something that your brain is offering up.
Mhm.
And that's great because it means we can change it.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
think, I mean,
And
the key would be to just focus on yourself, right? Not
yes.
necessarily looking at the competition or even, making them the competition. Like focus on what you're doing.
Yeah. I like to look at it as like if you're going to compare to anything, compare to who you were last year, who you
Mm.
were last month, how your business has grown in that time. And
I
like
love that.
for me, that's the best comparison
Right.
because you're competing against you, right? It's
Mhm.
like your own personal journey, your own growth. And it's like, okay, how can we improve? How can we like take this to the next level rather
Mhm.
than, oh, what are they doing? And you're looking at their like 20 years of experience where you've got 5. Like, we're
Hmm.
not comparing apples to apples here.
No.
It's not
No,
helpful to go and do play that game.
I agree. So, Karina, let's get a little bit into work-life balance and family. So, I am so guilty of this. Like, I want you to tell us, how do we set healthy boundaries, putting our foot down? Because, Karina, I worked 12 days straight before Thanksgiving. Meanwhile,
Oh.
2 of those days were supposed to be off days.
Hmm.
So, how can we
Hmm.
set healthy boundaries, letting these clients know, like, I love you. I know you have somewhere to go, but I need rest. I need time with my family. How do we set those healthy boundaries?
Yes. Okay. So I love this question because I'm working with this all the time with my clients. So
Okay.
much so that I've created a mini course for it
Oh,
because
nice.
it like there's so many little different pieces to this.
Mhm.
Um, and so in this mini course, I like break it down into like when you're talking about messaging, when you're talking about,
Mm,
personal boundaries with people, when you're talking about social media, like I've broken down all of these categories to
okay.
really look at how we can set boundaries in each one of them.
Okay.
Um, so if that's something you're interested in, reach out. I'm happy to set you
Oh,
up with the
yes,
link to
because it
that.
sounds like I need it.
Yes, honestly, it's so good. I make all of my clients go through it because I'm like, you need to hear this.
Yes.
But in terms of like what you can do today, especially going into the holiday season,
Mhm.
is ask yourself, actually, no, don't ask yourself. I want you to look at a calendar
Okay.
and mark off the times that are family time.
Mm,
Like to do it now,
okay. Not wait.
not, not wait, not be like, oh, we'll see if something comes up. It's like, no, put it in your calendar right now of like, okay, even if it's something for you, I don't know if your people do this, but like, I'm going to a spa day. Like,
Exactly. I
put
need to do
put work
that.
aside and actually like have your own spa day. I want you to put that in the calendar and put
Okay.
the family time in the calendar and make those things a non-negotiable. And that for me is, I mean, there's a lot of other things that I want to tell you about boundaries, but that's like the first piece that so many business owners miss because it's
Okay.
like, oh, the client asked, like, and I have to answer. And oh, the client requested this, so I need to do that. And I
Okay.
want to argue that you don't because
Mm,
you need to take care of you. Otherwise, you're not taking care of anybody else.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, trust me, I was tired. I was extremely tired and like, "Oh my gosh, why did I do that to myself?"
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. No kidding.
Right? So, I know you emphasize creating a personalized approach to your business coaching and your mindset coaching. How can beauty professionals, feel like they're not just another business? How can they really, just focus on themselves and create a business that they can be proud of and a business that relates to who they are and what they wanna put out there?
Yeah. So for me, what that looks like is diving into really what makes you you, what
Mm.
do you love, what are you prioritizing? Like maybe you love a certain niche, but you've been
Mm.
afraid to go all in on that niche because you're like,
Mhm.
well, but I'm good at this skill and I'm good at this skill. And for me, when I say I provide a tailored approach, I don't have a cookie cutter. I'm going to walk you through, X, Y, Z for branding and marketing and sales.
Okay.
We touch on all of those topics. I can support you in those topics, but what we do is really focused on the kind of business that you want to build, which
Okay.
is probably not going to look like your neighbor down the street. And it's not going to look like that big corporation that, your your people in the area are going to. It's
Mhm.
going to look like what's going to serve you
Right.
and what is going to work for you. And for me, that's the biggest thing because that's what makes it sustainable.
Mm.
It's not, oh, I'm trying to keep up here and I'm trying to do
Right.
this and I'm trying to like satisfy everybody else. But we want to make sure you're taken care of, that this build business supports you. And that's the biggest game changer to making it sustainable.
Mhm. And I think there's one word that you said, and that was afraid. And
Yeah.
so many people are afraid just to be their authentic selves, just to do
Yes, which is such a shame. Like
right?
seriously,
Because it makes you
I want the
special.
different. Exactly. Like I don't want to go into like five, I don't know, five salons and have them all look and feel the same.
Right?
Like the ones that are unique, the ones that like have that kind of flavor or, the differences, that's what stands out.
Mm-hmm.
Like to make it more of you, to make it more of like what you value, what you prioritize, because that calls in your people.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of like hanging a big sign outside your door saying like, hey, if you love wild and crazy nails, like this is the
Right?
place for you.
Right?
Like if you just want like your boring standard French manicure, like no, thank you.
Right?
Like we love you and you're not for us.
And I think that just makes you happier as a professional, doing the things that you love, being able to service
Yes.
people that you can relate to, just having a business that's really aligned. Like I'll say most recently, I've relocated 4 times. I'm always looking to get into a new salon, build a new clientele. So I've been showing people these are the things I'm doing to build this clientele. And I would say like the feedback has been great. Like, oh my gosh, those are really good ideas. And I
Mhm.
just feel happier and I feel like, I'm doing a better service showing other stylists like this is how you build a clientele. And that's just it's my life. It's what I'm naturally doing.
Yep,
Yeah, and it
absolutely.
just it makes a difference.
It does because you get to do what you love and make money from that and support people from
Exactly.
that and give value, which is like that is the goal.
That is the
That is the
goal.
goal.
Speaking of goals, like I said, we are going into this new year. What mindset shifts should we go into this new year with?
Ooh, mindset shifts for the new year. Let's see. I like to tailor this to
Mhm.
the individual because for some people it's like it's this idea of like don't be afraid to like compare to others and be your own person. For
Mhm.
some people it's that. For other people it's going to be like get out there and make and ask for the sale. Like
Mm.
tell people about your business. So I feel like I kind of want to flip it and say what is the thing that has been like keeping you stuck, keeping you kind of like playing small.
Mhm.
And that for you is the thing that needs to flip.
Mm.
Like if it's like, oh, but is my service really good enough? Can I really
Okay.
charge more for this? Then
Mhm.
then your job is to see for yourself and prove to yourself how it is enough, how it
Okay.
is good enough, how you can um, you know, increase your prices or grow your staff or whatever that looks like.
Okay.
And so I want everyone to answer that question for themselves.
Mhm. So, Karina, when we are working on these mindset shifts, are we reading books? Are we putting sticky notes on our mirror? Are we saying mantras? Are we doing it all? Like, what are some things that we really are doing on a daily basis or focusing on so that we can change our mindset?
Yeah. So So, I mean, this is what I teach people. And if you've tried to do this before and struggled, like, please reach out for support because for me, it's really easy to see like where it is that you're struggling. And sometimes we can't see it for ourselves.
Okay.
But for something that you can go do at home today,
Mhm.
everything you just listed is amazing.
Okay.
And for me, it's to find out what's the thing that resonates best with you. Some
Okay.
people, I personally love doing voice notes because it kind of
Mm.
like
Okay.
captures
I've done that
my,
before.
I know it's so fun. It kind of captures my energy, my like excitement for,
Mm.
whatever the thing is that I want to capture and remember.
Hmm.
And then I can re-listen to it and be like, oh yeah, like that was awesome. Yes, I need to
Right.
remember this. So sometimes it could be voice notes, it could be sticky notes. I like to write on my mirror with dry
Hmm.
erase markers.
Oh yeah, my
That's super
mirror's
fun.
all wrote up.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. And changing it up sometimes because
Yes.
sometimes like when it's been there too long, we kind of just see it as
Oh yeah.
like we don't see it as much anymore. And my kids do, which is funny. I'm like, Mom, what's that?
Right.
Like, can I write on the walls? No.
That's my 3-year-old.
Yeah, 100%. Um, but I would say try all of it and see what lands for you.
Okay.
Like that could be journaling, that could be meditating, that could be going. I personally like going for a walk and like
Mm.
kind of doing that mental, almost like being a cheerleader for yourself, like going for a
Okay.
walk and being like, I got this. Today's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna do this and da 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 da. And
Okay.
For everybody, it looks different. Like one person is going to be like, I hate writing.
Right.
And then the next person is going to be like, this is amazing. Why haven't I
Right.
done that?
Okay. So try a little bit of everything.
Try everything and see what sticks for you. Like, see what's the thing that you're like, ooh, this was really fun. Like, I want to keep doing this.
Okay. And
Yes.
so once we start working on that mindset, once we feel like we're in a good flow, how do we keep it? Because
To
I think
keep
that's
it.
the one thing of being consistent, where one day you're like, I feel great. I'm going to go out here and charge these huge prices. And the next day you become self-doubt, How do we
Yeah.
stick with it?
So that is the best question.
Okay.
And you might be surprised at my answer, but you
Oh,
don't.
okay. I love that answer.
You don't. And the thing that I really want everybody to hear is you just get really good at getting back up and going again.
Okay.
So what I teach is that expect the failure, expect the doubt, expect the like all of the disbelief that's going to come along because it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be there. And we're never going to like get to this place and be able to stay there or maintain it forever.
Okay.
And what we want to do instead is just recognize, okay, I'm going to trip up. Like this
Mm-hmm.
amazing solid mindset that I have right now, maybe it won't last, but I'm going to figure out how to get back to it.
Okay.
And for me, that's the biggest thing. It's like, I mean, if you listen to anything business growth and mindset, you'll hear a lot of like coming like failures and you're gonna fail and you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
fail and like get used to failing basically.
Okay.
And for me, I mean, it's true. If you've been in
Right. I
business for any
mean,
length of time, like there's gonna be fails. But for me, it's how do you recover from the fails?
okay.
Because my job with my clients is to get them to recover faster. It's not
Okay.
actually to not experience the fail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love
Like
that.
that is going to be such a strength for you to be able to say, "Oh, okay, like I've faltered. I've like tripped a
Right.
little here and I can get back to it."
Okay. That reminds me of some advice my dad gave me. He's like, when things get tough, you get tough. Like, it's
Ooh,
not a
yeah.
matter of, laying down and not dealing with it. Like, no, you need to get tough with it.
Absolutely. Which I feel like we do, especially as women, like we
Oh, yeah, we have
do.
no choice.
Exactly. Like we go and we figure it out. And when it comes to building a business, when it comes to your mindset around it, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, like this sucks. I want to go cry and sit on the couch.
Right.
Okay, cool. Have a moment.
Exactly.
Like take your moment. That's okay. And
Right.
then we're gonna get back to
We have
it.
to get back to it.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I love that. So there is one question that I ask every guest on the podcast, and that is, what is your superpower as an entrepreneur?
Yes. So my superpower, which is what I've developed over the last 6 to 7 years, is really being able to speak to business owners
Hmm.
and pinpoint what is holding them back, what is
Okay.
keeping them stuck. And for me, I mean, it's been years and years of practice now, but
Okay.
for me, it's really obvious. Like if we
Mm.
if we're gonna go and have a conversation about your business,
Mhm.
and you can be like, okay, this is what I want, and this is what I'm at, and this is what da 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 da, then I can tell you real quick why
Okay.
you're not already there and
Mm.
what needs to change to get you
See.
there.
I love
Yeah,
that. I
it's
love
so
that.
fun, so
So in this
fun.
new year, what resources, programs, ebooks, or whatnot do you have for us that we need to make sure we know about?
Yes. So I am launching a podcast in
Ooh, do
January.
it.
I know. I'm so
That's
excited.
exciting.
So excited. And you
Do
need
we
to
have a
come follow
name?
me
Can we say the
there.
name or not
Do we
yet?
have a name? So I'm pretty sure I have landed on a name, which
Okay.
is You Are Your Biggest Asset.
Yes, I love that.
Right?
Yes,
I
I love
know.
that.
Like we need this reminder, apparently.
Right, we do. We do.
We do. We do. And it's going to be
Okay.
all about business growth and really getting your brain on board to create the success that you're after in a way that's sustainable for you.
I love that. We will be sure to tune in. We don't want to miss
Yeah,
that. All
absolutely.
right.
Come join
Awesome.
me.
Right. Awesome. Well, Karina, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I want to make sure everyone's following you. Where can we follow you?
Yes. So I hang out predominantly on Instagram, and you can find
Okay.
me at Carina Groombridge Coaching on Instagram. And also, like,
Awesome.
come message me, tell me you found me from the podcast, and I would be happy to go and like pinpoint for you what has been keeping you stuck in your business. Like,
Ooh, I
what is the
love it.
thing that needs to shift? I offer this as a free call because whether you want the support to grow your business or you're just
Hmm.
like, if you just take the free call, this will literally change your results in 2025.
Ooh, I'm sending everyone your way because we all want to
Yes,
win in the new year,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Well, Carina, thank you so much. I won't hold you. I know you are a busy lady. I wish you all the best in the new year. I'll be tuning in to the podcast, and we are forever connected now.
Absolutely. And I'm
Have a
going to
great
need you to come
day.
on the podcast.
Of course, I'm going to hold you to that.
Yes.
Have a great day.
You too.
Let's see. And of course, I don't see my stop recording. One second. We'll chit chat. Thank goodness for being able to edit.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, I see.